He is so toxic. Look at how he talks about the LGBTQ community. How rude. Jesus would never say that. Okay, I'm on the front line, better know that. I get a lot of hate for the blowback, but I don't really care, it's a known fact. I ain't really in it for the money, I'm a cold cat. They say I'm toxic, ayy, I'm chopping this beat like Bobby Flay. You don't want beef, I'm not the place. Serve God, my boss is on display. Okay, giving everybody the truth, I'm in it to win and I ain't never giving up, ayy. You better repent and never return until you sin and how much you forgiven us. Look, so many people are gonna burn up in the flames. Are you a part of the lump, huh? You don't wanna see that dump. You don't wanna drink that cup, ayy. Green dot with the optic, ayy. Serve God, no gothic, ayy. Some of y'all off, no logic, ayy. I'ma serve God, I'm toxic, ayy. I'm toxic. They say I'm toxic, ayy. I'm toxic. I guess I'm toxic, ayy. Ain't with the LGBTQ. Y'all ain't gon' make it, believe me, you. Just face it. You will never see me lose. Serve God, I'm on top, he gon' see me through. They say I'm toxic. Ooh, I talk to the youth like Dr. Seuss. If you my God, that's not good news. If you're born a girl, you're not a dude. Okay, listen. Better believe and leave the weed smoke. You need to be woke. I'm independent, I'm in it when I said it, and I don't need to be broke. Okay, I'm living in the middle of a war, I got a gun, I don't need me cloak. People wanna see me choke, but y'all don't wanna see these smoke. Ooh, green dot with the optic, ayy. Serve God, no gothic, ayy. Some of y'all off, no logic, ayy. I'ma serve God, I'm toxic, ayy. I'm toxic. They say I'm toxic, ayy. I'm toxic. I guess I'm toxic, ayy.
Yo 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 yo, it's your boy Radically Moderate, back once again to put all these child grooming predators in their place. How we doing, everybody? Let's jump right. Hey, how are you doing? I'm doing great. Just chilling right here. There's been some happenings in the news recently. We can talk about them. Elon Musk's been tweeting things. What did he tweet out? Cyber Rodeo Giga Texas. Any other things he's preparing? What the hell is this shit? Whoa. The hell? This stuff is coming out on the fly. This is 39 seconds ago. He just tweeted this out 1 minute ago. What are those drones? Those must be drones. And then what? Just a hallway? Okay. Gigafactory is opening tomorrow. 4 doors at 4. Festivals with okay doors. Interesting. But this isn't, we're not talking about Elon Musk and his cyber rodeo giga Tesla all day. But hey, the guy knows how to bring himself into news attention. I need to make myself a little bigger here. We have a lot of topics, so much to get into tonight. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm doing great. Let's just jump right into this fucking topics. I don't want to wait any longer. I'm going to do it like this. Close, and close. All right, let's talk about Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan says school pushed woke anti-racism on his 9-year-old daughter. This might be why he moved out of California. I think this is probably the number one reason a parent would move, is if the school districts suck, and all the California school districts suck. So he went to a state that wouldn't suck. In my opinion, maybe Florida would have been better, but Texas is probably going to do this. Is probably going to follow suit after Florida. Let's read this article here. Okay, let's refresh this so we get this video loaded here. Joe Rogan said his 9-year-old daughter attended in California. The school his daughter attended in California promoted anti-racist ideology after the May 2020 George Floyd incident. Why is this not playing?
The whole George Floyd thing happened. One of the schools that my kids were going to back in California, released this email saying that it's not enough to not be racist. You now must be anti-racist. And my kid's 9 at the time.
Yeah. What does that
and
mean?
I'm like,
But
what does it
doesn't
mean?
Doesn't mean anything.
I'm like, these kids are not even remotely racist. Like, they have all sorts of different kinds of friends. I've never heard them discuss it once. It's just, I like this person and she's nice to me and we like to play together and we both like the same things. And so to tell a 9-year-old that you have to be anti-racist, well, then they're going looking for racism.
They don't even know what racism is, so you first have to explain to them what racism is. So really, what they're trying to do is awaken the racial consciousness of these kids. Which, let's be honest here, if you awaken the racial consciousness of the majority of all white people, I don't know if that's exactly a good thing. I like to go back to the 90s when everyone was just colorblind. But apparently that's racist to be colorblind these days. You have to acknowledge people's race for some reason that hasn't been yet to explain, because it matters. It doesn't. Rogan was interviewing David Mamet, famed playwright and Hollywood screenwriter-director. So Joe Rogan is against this stuff being taught to his kids. He has the largest podcast in the world. So this is pretty influential decision, don't you think? Leave a comment down below if you think it is. Like, subscribe, bribe. Radically Moderate out of here. Let's go to the next article. Elon Musk. Elon Musk is the devil. Elon Musk. Elon Musk's joining Twitter's board of directors should sound alarm bells. Should? To who? Is this shock journalism? Oh, hey crowd, I'm going to tell you how you're supposed to feel. You should be scared. As we head into another election cycle. Isn't every 2 years an election cycle? This is always happening. And are still dealing with COVID. What about the war in Ukraine? Is that not important too? The point is, I don't care about either of these things. These are just trying to poke and prod. His record of spreading misinformation on social media is worrisome. So what? We have a right to spread misinformation. That is true. It's called the First Amendment. Now, granted, you can't libel or slander people. But, for example, you can lie about yourself. Now, you don't lie in business deals, and that's fraud and shit. But, I mean, you could tell misinformation. Misinformation is such a vague term. They use it in a way of, if you highlight the wrong information that's still technically true, it's misinformation because you're not putting it in proper context, they'll say. Which is stupid. Let's read the article up here. On Tuesday, Twitter announced Elon Musk, CEO of SpaceX and Tesla, would be joining the board of directors. You know what they say, if you can't beat them, join them. Tesla. The news comes days after he bought more than 9% of the company's stock. Parag Agrawal, the company CEO, tweeted, don't care about him, but Musk's worrisome track record of using social media irresponsibly. Oh no. Should raise huge questions about whether, as a board member, he'll ensure the platform cracks down on potentially deadly disinformation that threatens our country. That statement right there could literally mean praising Putin, to advocating not wearing masks, to just disagreeing with your opponents. Oh, and by the way, we have to say this right now. Hey, Sarah Bob. Everybody, for all the YouTube, everyone watching this live stream, anything offensive or questionable content on here is used purely for educational purposes. Okay? We disavow all forms of racism and bigotry on this channel. as the YouTube rules make us. So everyone, please abide by YouTube's rules. They're our overlords. We love everybody, especially the minorities. Treat everybody equally, especially the minorities. We have a ton of evidence tons of evidence by now about the dangers of allowing people to tweet irresponsibly. Oh my God, people are saying things irresponsibly. What did he do? He tweeted a picture of a cat doing something. The cat was a white supremacist meme cat though, so that changes everything. Just look at how a single tweet by former President Donald Trump seems to have been interpreted by his followers. You know, that word "seems" there is really carrying the bulk of that sense. As a call to storm the Capitol. Well, that's not what it was. The way Russians used to. Musk, however, has proven himself to be anything but responsible and civic-minded. So what, Musk is going to call for an insurrection too? Take a look at his own behavior on Twitter. In 2018, he was sued by the SEC for tweeting that he had funding secured for Tesla to become a private company. The SEC accused him of misleading the market, a claim Musk denied. As part of his settlement, his tweets about aspects of the company have been vetted by lawyers before he posts them. It's a agreement that she accused him of repeating violently. Okay, so do you think Elon Musk is... it's good news. Looks like a lot of cucks here think it's bad news. He says he also used social media to spread vaccine and COVID misinformation in the past. Although he says he's vaccinated and told Time Magazine that science is unequivocal, he said in September 2020 interview with journalist Kara Swisher that he wouldn't get the vaccine and downplayed the severity of the virus. Oh my God, he questioned the narrative. How can he allowed to be the board of directors on Twitter? This is unacceptable. He didn't toe the party line 100% of the time. He didn't follow lockstep completely. Well, he's not the only person who has turned from COVID skepticism to acknowledge science. All hail science. Praise science. Worship science. Consider that he retweeted an anti-vax meme. Oh my God, we gotta see this anti-vax meme. Now I gotta see this. What is this meme? Why aren't they dead yet? Wait a second. This isn't an anti-vax meme, you idiot. You idiot. You freaking idiot. Kara Al-Imo, you are an idiot. This isn't an anti-vax meme, you friggin' idiot. It's not, she calls it an anti-vax meme. Everybody, you. Do I have to explain the joke here? I think I have to. The joke is that the pro-vaccination person who gets all the vaccinations, okay, now it's a little ridiculous, yes, but that's what we clearly know. They're the vaccine person. They're looking at the person who has no vaccines and thinking, why aren't they dead from COVID? And look at this. The anti-vax guy is looking at the vax guy and thinking, why aren't those vaccines killing him? You see, it's kind of a joke at both sides, because both sides would say that the other side's options would result in death. But it turns out neither side options really resulted in that much death. So, sorry to explain the joke here, but wow, what an idiot this journalist is. It's downright scary that someone who has used social media so irresponsibly that he isn't trusted to tweet without professional supervision will now be in a... Yeah, wow. That he'll now be in a position to help determine what others do on Twitter. There's already a reason to believe that Musk will take a laissez-faire approach to moderating problematic content. Good. That's what the First Amendment allows. You don't like it because you can't silence your political opponents now under the guise of whatever reason you want moderating problematic content. which could be anything problematic, I consider your censorship views problematic and they should be censored. Oh, well, let's see how that works. On March 25th, he tweeted, "Free speech is essential to a functioning democracy." How scary! And polled Twitter users about whether they believe Twitter rigorously adheres to this principle. Oh my God, can you believe 70% of the more than 2 million accounts responded no? Holy crap. Oh my God. Oh, the journalists are just shaking and crying right now. But as we've already seen, so-called free speech. This is a journalist right here saying so-called free speech can have deadly consequences. Well, then move out of this country, journalist. Why don't you move somewhere without free speech laws if it's so deadly? Oh, turns out not having free speech is even more deadly. What an idiot we're dealing with here. Excuse me. Law professor Keats Crichton points out in her book, Hate Crimes in Cyberspace, that our governments restrict speech for many reasons, including cases of threats and speech that facilitates crimes. That's not entirely true. You got that wrong, kinda. Social networks need to do the same to protect us from violence and disinformation about topics like our health and elections. So, social media networks need to treat disinformation the same way they treat actual credible threats of violence. Especially since Twitter users, according to Pew Research Center, regularly get their news on the platform. It's astonishing to think that a member of the board of the one of the most country doesn't appreciate this. How do you know what he appreciates? This is fake news. You can't read someone else's mind. There's also another reason for us to question Musk's commitment for the greater public good. Look at this, the greater good. What is the greater good? Free speech is the greater good. How about you adhere to that? Commitment to greater product. In a reason to criticism that he hasn't paid his fair share of taxes, he tweeted in November, "Much is made lately of unrealized gains being a means to tax avoidance. So I propose selling 10% of my Tesla stock. Do I support this?" He added a yes or no poll. He also publicly questioned the value of contributing to the World Food Program to fight hunger, leading one expert to liken his behavior to that of a troll. Oh my, can you believe one person had an opinion likening him to a troll? This is journalism in 2022. I'm surprised we're not getting replies from with 3 likes on this thread, on this article while we're at it. This is deeply concerning, given that one of Musk's important roles on Twitter's board will be to look out for the welfare of vulnerable users who enjoy far fewer privileges than he does. Far fewer. Oh my God, shut up. As we head into another presidential election and are seeing a spread of another COVID subvariant. Really? Are we? I haven't heard about it. Maybe. You know what, guys? Always talk to your local health doctor. You got to protect yourself. It's important. It's more important than ever to ensure that social media doesn't continue to promote violence and misinformation. I don't think you know what this word means, but you're using the word violence first because nobody likes violence, but misinformation is what you think is false. And I think you're spreading misinformation. So you just wanted to censor people who you disagree with. That's ultimately what you want. It's astounding that Twitter would call on someone like Musk to help oversee the company. Well, he owns a lot of it. And you must be all over the loop here. It's astounding that he would oversee the company that cracked down on very kind of he himself is responsible. Do you know why they made him board of directors in the chat? Do you know why? Anyone comment down below? I heard they made him board of directors, and part of the deal was he would stop buying Twitter stock. He can't own more than 15% of the company and remain a director. That's what I heard. And in other news, what is this? This is Elon Musk. She retweets about Elon Musk memes every day. If you guys like this type of content, leave a like down below, subscribe, share for friends. Radically Moderate out of here. Are you guys ready for the main content? You ready for the main content? We got to talk about these groomers. I don't get it. The typical 30-year-old groomer constantly talks to 5-year-olds about dildos, spends entire class coming out and teaching about their own sexual history, thinks a child's parents have no role in parenting, not allowed within 500 feet of the school he works at. I'm gonna groom. Secretly gives hormones to kindergartner. Says just wants to say gay to third grader while explaining how to have relations. Doesn't have own kids. Can just have relations with your kids. Your child's gender isn't their choice. It's my choice. Your stereotypical groomer. Was this Florida to ban transgender? We'll see about that. I've been seeing people posting this on Twitter that grooming is a human right as a troll response. Now, I don't know if this is troll or not. Apparently, some people think pedophilia is evil. Now, I have to say, listen. YouTube, don't ban me for saying some groups, for calling out groups of people, okay? How do we have to stay within the terms of service. We gotta be careful. The 30-year-old groomer adopted a kid just to groom, made lifestyle a political issue just to groom more kids into cult, active member of NAMBLA, has HIV, will defeat the bigoted by grooming their children, can't reproduce gayness. Nobody knows what gender it identifies as, made its fetish its whole lifestyle, has had 1,000+ sex partners. They were born this way. Everyone else must be groomed. Running for city council to make drag queen mud wrestling mandatory in all elementary schools. Now, obviously, where's my... I'm trying to avoid hate speech here. Promoting violence or hatred. Dehumanizing them. Glorifying violence. Mentally inferior or diseased. They're not superior. Okay. Okay. Alright, so let's remember, these groomers are people who have human rights. Okay? And they must not, you must never, ever attack them or commit acts of violence against groomers, okay? I'm going to have to restart this segment again. Hey everybody, we're doing a little groomer meme review right here. Here we have, what's this? The Disney Castle. And on the bottom side It is Epstein Island. What's that church? Weird temple he had there. Which is, Disney. They decided to support the groomers. Why? The company's going to make more LGBTQ content? Okay. Here's your stereotypical 30-year-old groomer. Yeah, fuck. Fucking A. I gotta avoid buzzwords. Hey everybody, it's Radically Moderate, and we're doing a groomer meme review right here. It's Disney Castle, Epstein Island. Pretty funny. Your 30-year-old groomer constantly talks to 5-year-olds about dildos. Spends entire history class coming out. We have videos of... Okay, guys, keep a list of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're gonna go and see how many of these we can check off later in our own videos. I promise you, we'll get these. Things child's parents have no role in parenting. Not allowed. I'm gonna groom. Secretly gives hormones to kindergartner. Just wants to say gay to third grader while explaining how to have relations. Doesn't have own kids. Just wants to play off yours. Your child's gender isn't their choice. It's my choice. Here you have your 30-year-old groomer, another meme. Adopted a kid just to groom. Made gay lifestyle political issue just to groom more kids into cult. Active member of NAMBLA. 6,000 sex partners. So what is this? San Francisco gay choir literally sings "We're coming for your children." No. Now this is really weird. The National Review, the groomer accusation is counterproductive. Okay, Klein. Okay, groomer is what we're saying now to people. Yeah, here's your groomer. All right, let's go on with the tweets now.
If you wanted to pause.
The Don't Say Gay bill is actually also the Don't Say Straight bill.
Here's a section if you wanted to pause and screenshot.
Because of Florida's choice to keep things vague, so there's a big umbrella of which to discriminate, they also included straight people. So these are the straight things that you won't be able to talk about in Florida schools when this is enacted. Gender signs need to be taken off all of the bathroom doors. You cannot line up kids in girl rows and boy rows. You cannot talk about traditional families or a family with a man and a woman because that's heterosexuality. And I don't want y'all to talk about that in school. You won't be able to celebrate Mother's Day or Father's Day in school. You won't be able to celebrate Christmas in school. I don't know what orientation the Immaculate Conception was, but I don't want my child subjected to that. What other examples of heterosexuality prevalent in K through 3rd grade can y'all come up with? Let me know in the comments. The Don't Say Gay bill is actually also the...
All right. That's a psycho teacher. You keep them away from your kids.
Patrice, tonight's meeting saw more than 40 people speak in a lively school committee meeting here at Barrington High School, and it's one where a lot of people express frustration and confusion. Barrington parents, students, and taxpayers looking for answers.
English less important than math or science?
After the school district, widely considered one of the best in Rhode Island, decided...
Oh, this is something else. Sorry.
Ready when they've been exposed to information, they're ready to learn about it, whether you think they are or not. And the research says that there is no age too young to talk about pretty much anything. If they know about it, they're ready to learn about it, right? So there is no, what we think is always age appropriate. It is if they don't know about it. They haven't been exposed to it, then yeah, you can give them time to develop. But once they're exposed to it, and social media is going to do it, right? I know some kindergartners in this school with cell phones.
Yeah, these kids have cell phones. Therefore, what? You want to talk to them about what? When they're how old? What is wrong with you?
Mine had a cell phone. And so
Sounds like a problem.
They get access to information. They can learn quickly. The world is teaching them faster than probably you are.
Well, maybe we don't want that.
And so the extent to which we can have conversations with parents around how do we want to approach talking about LGBTQ plus, because
We don't want to talk about that with kids.
there's students as early as kindergarten who are identifying as non-gender conforming, non-binary, that are transgender. And so because they're in our school, they're in our classrooms, then that becomes a responsibility on the adults to say, okay, I have a student who identifies this way. And so it's my responsibility to make sure the classroom is inviting to them, just like it is to someone who might be Asian, Laotian, Korean, African.
Well, obviously classrooms should be inviting to everybody, but they can be inviting by just not talking about certain issues. Here's another crazy.
Because I've been getting this question a lot lately, I am going to use this space to answer it. And that is, as a preschool teacher, a drag king, and as a member of the LGBTQ community, how do I feel about the new legislations for like the Don't Say Gay bill or the reporting of transgender kids? And while I don't see things like that too much in preschool, my opinion on it is that I don't care what the government tells me to do. I am going to do what I think is best for the health and safety, and that includes mental health and safety and emotional health and safety of my kids. I will never let...
Whose kids? Whose kids? Whose kids?
My kids. Emotional health and safety of my kids.
They're not your kids. They don't belong to you. You have no rights over these kids. Every single one of those parents could choose to withdraw their child from their school if you were the teacher, and you would have an empty classroom. And then maybe the next classroom you started teaching, all those kids could choose to withdraw their kids from you. And you just end up teaching no kids. Because you don't have a right to kids. You creepy person.
I will never let any child come through my classroom feeling unloved or ashamed for who they are. So because I've been getting this question a lot lately,
So, here's another one.
I ended up telling my students that I was gay. And how it came up was one of the students was like, my mom thinks that you're gay because of your voice. And I'm like, maybe, maybe not.
How about you say, that's an inappropriate thing to talk about. Okay? And you say, I'm not going to talk about that anymore. That's all you have to do. And say, children, I'm not comfortable talking about that with you. Can we drop the subject? That's all you have to do. You're making me erase my identity. No. Just like if there was a male teacher married to his wife and the kids were asking him like, oh, your wife's pregnant. How'd that happen? I don't want that teacher saying stuff in front of my child. Explaining how babies are made. Because it's not biology time, it's history.
So they were asking me if I was, because I kind of alluded that I was. So I kind of let them wonder and ponder on it. And I have like the LGBT promotional, this is a safe community kind of stuff, the rainbow stuff all up in my room. And I told them, I'm like, if you look around the room, that should give you an answer to your question. So I did officially tell them. They, of course, went berserk. So instead of teaching social studies today, they just asked me a whole bunch of questions about being gay.
Social studies, history, same thing.
So I think it was pretty well.
Let's emphasize that last part there.
Social studies today. They, of course, went berserk. So instead of teaching social studies today, They just asked me a whole bunch of questions about being gay. So
this is what we are trying to avoid. Now, imagine if there's a whole bunch of kids asking a teacher about what it's like to be straight. That'd be weird too. What's this? Drag-tastic summer camp, ages 12 to 18. Oh my God. Gross. I cannot teach in Florida. LGBTQ educators fear fallout from new school law. Nice knowing ya.
As an elementary school teacher in Florida, this new bill has really been weighing on me a lot. I teach first grade, which means my classroom is one of the ones that will be directly affected. For those of you who haven't been in the classroom a while, one of the things that teachers always do at back to school night and meet the teacher and things like that is they send home this cute little meet the teacher thing where it has a little bio about us, some of our favorite stuff, just so that you know who we are.
Since when? Since when? Maybe I'm just a boomer now because I graduated school. I went to school in the 90s and the aughts. And my teachers I didn't remember my teachers ever give me a little slip introducing them, saying what their interests are and what their hobbies are and who they're married to.
How do I do that next year?
Don't.
Do I lie and not talk about my marriage? Do I pretend I'm single?
How about you don't talk about yourself?
Do I invalidate my spouse's stance as a transgender person?
Obviously not. We need to validate everybody's stances. All people need to be protected. All gender, identity, and expression. No one should be made to feel violence or hatred.
Or do I put my job on the line?
Yes, quit.
To introduce myself. What am I supposed to do? Oh no.
Hold on. One more time, you guys. This is nuts.
As an elementary school teacher in Florida, this new bill has really been weighing on me a lot. I teach first grade, which means my classroom is one of the ones that will be directly affected. For those of you who haven't been in the classroom a while, one of the things that teachers always do at back to school night and meet the teacher and things like that is they send home this cute little meet the teacher thing where it has a little bio about us, some of our favorite stuff, just so that you know who we are. How do I do that?
Why do you do that? Who cares about you? You're the teacher. I don't remember any of my teachers' names. Maybe Mrs. Olson. I don't know. People don't care about you. The students, most of the time, they hate you because you give them work. Whatever. We're done here. We got one last one here.
People don't want to talk about gender and sexuality in classrooms, specifically for the reason that students won't understand.
No. Childhood innocence is something that should be preserved, but many on the left think that is a notion of that is a legacy of white supremacy, childhood innocence, because black children don't get to experience childhood innocence because they experience racism as a young child. So therefore, they're against the idea of childhood innocence, and they want to rob the children of their innocence. Maybe some of this is hearted in good faithness, but there's no way to stop the bad faith actors, okay? I heard this great analogy. Some people would say, "Oh, well, no, who signs up to join a teacher to groom children? That's so terrible. Why would you accuse them of wanting to groom children? They didn't do that. They become teachers because they want to help students." I'll flip it back at you. Who becomes a priest because they want to molest kids? Most people become priests because they want to help their community. They want to help the spiritual lives of people. When they join the priesthood and stuff, that's what they're doing. So the same thing with teachers then. Anyways, way more people are molested at schools than churches. Let's continue. We're going to back up a little bit here, actually.
It makes me very angry when people don't want to talk about gender and sexuality in classrooms, specifically for the reasons that students won't understand. Because
Larry, you never would have known. That's how I think I would be. I remember one of my teachers, literally, he made it a point to never mention his politics in front of us. He's like, "You guys will never know if I'm a Democrat or Republican." Good for him. That's how friggin' teachers should be. And yeah, I didn't know anything about their fucking personal lives. Thank God.
My experience with teaching, that is never the case. I'm a non-binary teacher and I use the title mix. Today I had 12 new students and I just go, "Hi, my name is Mix Murphy Q. I use mix instead of miss. It's a little bit different, but I'm still a teacher just the same." And they got it right away. I got mixed instead of missed all day. And it confuses me when people use that excuse that children won't understand, because students are very intelligent and they're learning all day. It's not hard for them to learn a different type of title. It makes me very angry.
It's not the act of them learning a new word that we don't want. It's the explaining. Why does she have a different title? Well, because she's non-binary. What does that mean? Children are always learning, and now we have to explain what non-binary means to children. Well, some people, they don't fit on the gender spectrum. What does that mean? You know how you like girls and daddy likes girls and mommy likes boys? Yeah? Some people don't. Why? You don't think this would happen if a kid? They keep asking why and why and why and why and why. And so parents, we can avoid these conversations if you don't start them, you groomer. Am I right? Am I on a line here? Anybody? I think I'm on point. Okay, what's this article say here? I can't talk to your kids about inappropriate subjects anymore, and I'm mad.
After weeks of controversy, Governor Ron DeSantis today signed the parental... After weeks of controversy, Governor Ron DeSantis today signed the Parental Rights in Education bill, surrounded by young children. Instruction and conversation about sexual orientation and gender identity for public school students in kindergarten through third grade.
And after third grade, those curriculums need to be age appropriate.
The law also gives parents the ability to wield civil lawsuits if they feel the policy is violated. The legislation, which has been referred to by opponents as the Don't Say Gay bill,
That's weird.
has sparked national outrage. Today, the governor and potential 2024 presidential candidate once again.
That's a weird. Look at that weird flex. They're like, "Hey, can you please run and not let Trump run, please?"
Putting himself at the forefront of America's culture wars. Supporters say the law lets parents determine when and how to introduce LGBTQ topics to their children.
We will make sure that parents can send their kids to school to get an education, not an indoctrination.
Oh my God, this is terrible.
Del May is running for state office in light of recent legislation.
This bill won't stay in effect forever, but it will be in effect long enough to communicate to our youth and to the country that Florida isn't the place for you if you are different.
What do you mean?
His husband Jeff and their 12-year-old son worry this is a step backwards for equal rights.
There are many people my age who grew up not having any acknowledgement that people like us even existed in the world.
What?
Y'all understand how much courage it takes for these children to show up every day.
Florida's first openly gay state senator, Chevron Jones, broke down debating this bill. Today, he has a message for the law's backers.
When their children come and have these conversations with them, I hope and pray that they have the right words to say. And I hope they have the arms long enough to hug them, to let them know I love you anyway.
Around 15 states from Tennessee to Louisiana are now considering legislation
Oh!
LGBTQ issues are addressed in the classroom.
Nice. All right, guys. Now, this is the real, the true crux of this topic here. Republicans ban something like don't talk to kids about sex. Democrats rush out and say, what do you mean we can't talk to kids about sex? And also, this bill is targeting gay people because you're making it so people can't talk to children about sex. You're targeting the queer community when you make this bill preventing adults from talking to children about sex and grooming them. And we're all like, whoa, are you saying the queer community grooms children? And they're like, how dare you say that? That's inappropriate. They don't groom anybody. All right, everybody. I gotta make sure I'm within the YouTube's guidelines here. We do not on the Radically Moderate promote or condone violence against any individuals based on their gender identity expression, or sex, gender, sexual orientation, or any other category that makes them a minority. We love all those people. In fact, I am transsexual myself. I am transsexual. Now, YouTube, you can't ban me because I am a protected class minority. I am also black. And I also identify as a 5-year-old. So I'm a transsexual, gay, black 5-year-old. These are not insults. This is how I identify, YouTube, okay? I am transsexual, not an insult. I am black, not an insult. I am a 5-year-old, not an insult, okay? YouTube doesn't like it sometimes when I speak this way. And anyways, we'll cut that out of the video. Maybe we won't. I'm rambling here. What, guys? Leave your comments down below. Why do you think the Democrats get so mad when you ban common sense topics? When you ban common sense stuff like talking to children about inappropriate topics? I think it's because the left can't handle boundaries. They can't handle rules. They just got to break them, violate them. They got to violate these rules, like the youths. All right, Radically Moderate out of here. We got a bunch more segments, so that ends that little segment. Okay. I guess clean energy ain't so clean. Wind turbine blades can't be recycled, so they're piling up in landfills. Wind turbine blades can be longer than a Boeing 747. At a municipal landfill in Casper, Wyoming, it's a final lesson place for 870 blades. Several fragments look like beached whale bones nestled one against another. These things are made of fiberglass. They're built to withstand hurricane force winds, so they can't be easily crushed, recycled, or repurposed. These things are just junk. That's created an urgent surge for alternatives to replace the lack of wide open prairies. United States, they go to landfills. In the United States, they go to the handful of landfills that accept them, like Lake Mills or Casper. And they'll be interred in stacks that reach about 30 feet under. The blade turbines will be there, ultimately, forever. How environmental and green is that? And so, most landfills are considered a dry tomb. Last thing we want to do is create even more environmental challenges. Green wind, what's that? Each blade is cut into pieces and stacked for efficiency. To prevent catastrophic climate change caused by burning fossil fuels, many governments, electricity coming from turbines and steam generators. The first models are expensive. Wind power is carbon-free, and about 85% of the turbine components, including steel, copper wire, electronics, and gearing, can be recycled and reused. But the fiberglass blades remain difficult to dispose of. With some as long as football fields, big rigs can only carry one at a time, making transportation costs prohibitive for long-haul distances. Scientists are trying to find better ways to separate resins from fiber, or to give small chunks new life as pallets, or boards. Here they are, they're just friggin' burying them. They're just giant acres and acres and acres of unit large-scale recycling were widely available. Landfills must accommodate defunct blades. Some blades are burned in kilns that create cement or in power plants, but their energy content is weak and uneven, and burning fiberglass emits pollutants. Let's see here. Wind turbine blades at the end of the operational life, are landfill safe, unlike waste from other energy sources. So that they're trashing nuclear. That's what that is. And represent a small fraction of the overall municipal solid waste. They say it's about that much of our landfills. Well, I think the nuclear waste is even smaller than that and produces way more power and is way more consistent and doesn't cause all these other problems. But hey, if you guys like this type of content, leave a like down below, subscribe, share with your friends. Radically Moderate out of here. File this under the idiots accuse racism once again. That's racism at its finest. TikToker calls out Target for putting darker shades of beauty products in security products, but not the lighter shades. For those of you out of the loop, we exist in a world of algorithms now. Algorithms can take large quantities of data and quickly process them faster than a human could. And so let's say you have a large store and you want to minimize shrinkage. That's another term for theft. If you want to minimize property theft. One thing you might do is look at which products are getting stolen the most. Now, hold on. So, how does this work? A store will order like 1,000 units of white, of light skin cream, and then they'll order 1,000 units of dark skin cream. And then after a certain span of time, it'll calculate how many sales are expected and how much is left in inventory, and they'll say, well, of the 1,000 of each one, let's say like 900 were sold, okay, and how much do you have left over? Of the darker one, it might be 0, for example. Of the lighter one, we'll say 50. So the darker one had experienced more shrinkage than the lighter one. And so let's say those are the only 2 products, and you're trying to focus on the worst one, because maybe there's other priorities. You focus on the worst ones, because maybe that's where you're the most, because maybe it's not 50%. Maybe, I don't know. Let's say 10%. I don't know. Well, we'll stick with 50%. If you're just going to focus on the worst ones, then you would make it so you would implement anti-theft methods on the worst ones, which in this case would be the darker skinned ones. Now, we're not saying that dark-skinned people commit crime. No one is saying that along this process, because we don't know the race of the person stealing the product. If you make the assumption that a black person is stealing black skin cream, that's on you. For all we know, it could be a white person stealing it to resell it online, for example. Yeah, but you didn't think of that. Just because you can't imagine the reason doesn't mean there isn't a good one. So the computer dictates which products are getting stolen the most, and then says implement some sort of anti-theft methods against those products. But Kathleen Wong won't explain it to you because she thinks you're an idiot who can be easily manipulated. She hates you. Or maybe she's an idiot herself. In the clip that was posted, it shows the beauty brands Verseed's Moonlighting Luminizing Glow Drops, which have tinted face serum akin to tanning drops, according to the product description. The product comes in 2 shades, sheer bronze and sheer golden. The former is a slightly darker shade, and the brand assures both shades work almost well on all skin tones and can be mixed together. Okay. In the clip, the sheer bronze are locked in anti-theft cases, while the sheer golden are left freely on the shelf. Well, if both can be used for all skins, why don't you just steal the other ones then? If you're so mad you can't steal them. If you're what exactly are you mad about? Just all you do is you take that box with you when you're checking it out. You don't even have to do anything to it. It just prevents you from opening it up and ripping out the little... There's probably like a tiny tube of like thing. It's like the size of like it's probably smaller than a can of soda. And so that could easily be stashed in a part. You know how small makeup can be. It's probably like the size of like a friggin' pencil. And so these things can be... Look at it. It's paper. These things can be ripped open. You take the thing, you put it in your purse, and you get out of there. Now, I don't know why no one's stealing these lighter colored ones. I don't know. Maybe you should start stealing them. Maybe they'll put them in boxes. Target, please explain to me why the lighter shades are perfectly out while darker shades are packaged and security sealed. Why does it matter? Why does it matter? Unless you're going to steal them, why does it matter? You're still allowed to buy them even if they're security sealed away. What is wrong? You could still buy them. You just take it's not even locked up. Like, you take that whole box and you put it in your cart and you keep on shopping. That's not even an inconvenience. You're crying about nothing. That's racism at its finest in a beauty club section at Target. Some comments agreed with me. Yep, they've been getting away with this for years. They keep getting away with it. The way I gasped at Target. You have some explaining to do, brah. A TikToker wrote. Yeah, an anonymous TikToker. Thank you, journalism. Other comments defended Target. I think they lock up whatever problem gets stolen the most. So if that shit gets stolen more, then they lock it up. It's not racism, just a statistic. That's what I said, way more succinctly. Likely not due to the shade, but the item most stolen. Darker shades cover more than one race or ethnicity. You assumed race? Why? Who? In the comments, Levi wrote, if it wasn't racist, then they would have locked up both shades, not just darker ones. Y'all are not passing the vibe check. I assume that's how she talked. In a 2019 viral photo surfaced of Target store where anti-theft devices only on the darker shades of makeup, causing similar controversy. Sources at Walmart have been known to lock up beauty products aimed at people of color. Some have felt this practice rooted in racist bias. In 2018, a black woman named Grundy filed a lawsuit at Walmart because hair and body products meant for African Americans had been locked up behind glass shelves, segregated from products for non-African Americans. She said she felt shame and humiliation. The case is ultimately dismissed. What an idiot. Oh my God. Daily Dot has reached out. What an idiot. Kathleen Wong's an idiot. If you guys like this type of content, leave a like down below, subscribe, share with your friends. Hold on. Proton. I gotta relog into my live stream. Click on the buses. Okay. Click on the cars. Fucking bitch. Click on the bicycles. Bicycle. Bicycle. There we go. We're back. Thank you for your patience. While we're talking about race, here is another race segment.
So this red car T-boned into this black car. Red car is a white lady. Look where the black lady's standing. While all of the paramedics are tending to this white lady who has just a little cut. I've already been over to the black lady and said something to the paramedics on why they haven't said anything to her. This is another parent who's going to say something to her now. But I just want you to see exactly why people say black women need to be protected. So this red car T-boned into this black car. Red car is a white lady.
Okay, maybe the reason they're not tending to her is she's not in her car. Her car looks like there's no damage. Maybe the driver of the red car is more injured. The other lady doesn't look that injured. She looks like she's standing up and walking about. She's walking it off already.
This is another parent who's going.
Hey, if you're trying to do some insurance scams, you should stay in your car and act hurt. It's 101.
If there's anyone out there who can provide some legal advice for this situation, if there's one thing that I've noticed, it's that people will gaslight the fuck out of
women, black women,
when it comes to how we are treated on a systemic level.
Yeah, systemic level. Yeah, preach, girl.
Even if it's right there in your face. And so
I don't like her lips.
I've received so many comments and DMs saying that I am pulling a race card, and
you are.
Every single one of those people were blocked. I don't have the energy to go back and forth.
Aww.
I don't need your approval. I don't need you to believe me. I really don't care. As long as the collective.
She's mad, guys. She made a video.
We're doing what we can to.
We're not sticking. The people are not sticking with this fucking bullshit anymore. They're calling them out. This is good. Let me adjust this a little bit. We've been streaming for an hour now. I should be not swearing. Whatever. Or we're continuing with the race segment. Let's pull up the TikTok video.
Negro, please.
The country redneck table that realized I was their server and asked for a blonde instead.
Didn't somebody tell you this was an all-white party? Huh? Someone get this jigaboo away. Negro, please. Didn't somebody tell you this was an all-white party? Huh?
They can listen. There's black girls with blonde hair. Don't be like that. Don't be like that. Don't be trying to say it's racism. That's it. That was it. All right, we got one more. Black homes are often undervalued. Black appraisers are fighting to change that. The Biden administration is leading efforts with a plan to attack myriad of concerns that devalue homeownership for people of color. Huh. Won't that just work on... Whatever. You're the appraiser? Oh my... No. Too long. Didn't read. That's a topic. I don't think I have any more topics. I think I'm going to end it tonight. If you guys like this type of content, please subscribe, like, share with your friends. I am shadow banned. The algorithm hates me. Radically Moderate out of here. Good night, everybody.